Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the online wedding fair with the Wedding Guru Oskar. I am super excited to be hosting this fantastic online event for you today. I'm just going to wait a couple of minutes until everyone clicks in. I am live in the group online wedding fair with the Wedding Guru Oskar. I'm seeing a few faces popping in just now, which is great to see. Super excited for it. I'll go into more detail in just a moment. Let's make sure that everyone's got time to log in. I hope you're all having a nice weekend, something to look forward to hopefully today with our online fair. We'll go into a few more details in just a moment, and let's give everyone time to log in. I'll shortly be going through a couple of housekeeping things. We've got quite a few of us already in the group, which is exciting. So I might just start with the little introductions. So if you're already watching us live, hop on, say hello, say your name, introduce yourself, and tell us where you're coming from. The more interactive we can make it, the more questions, comments, and interaction there is in the group today, the better, and obviously we can make it more relevant and more interesting for you as well. As you can see, I'm using a third-party streaming software called StreamYard, which means that I will not be able to see your names when you're commenting. So if you're making any comments or asking any questions today, pop your name before a comment or a question, and I will be able to answer to you directly. There will be quite a few of us actually using StreamYard, and the reason why a few of us are using StreamYard is because we wanted to incorporate a presentation into our live videos, so we can share that with you, and we will be able to see comments feeding through to StreamYard as well. So that's the only kind of reason behind it. With regards to the day today, I've actually decided to run a very special competition for you guys. I'm just going to pop on the screen the link to my competition. So in order to enter the competition, you would need to head over to bit.ly/win-consultation. And what's in it for you is that you can win a 1-hour one-to-one consultation with me. I'm giving away 3 of them today. All you need to do is pop your email in on the website, and I will be selecting the winners at random at the end of the sessions today about 3 o'clock. If you're watching us live today as well, feel free to take a little selfie of yourselves watching the sessions, pop them on your social media channels or in the group as well with the hashtag Oskar GTEWP, as you can see on the screen just now as well. Just to spread the word, there might be some other people that you know and it could actually enjoy this session today as well. So it'd be really nice to spread the word and share a bit of Sunday sunshine and a bit of wedding planning joy. So hopefully you all enjoy that as well. There is still a few people joining us. I don't want to rush too far. But what I'll do is I'll do introductions of our suppliers. So I'll just give you my screen a little bit bigger just now. There we are. And I'll head over to the screen with the presentation. So what have we got in for you today? We've got 11 fantastic award-winning wedding experts and guest speakers who have been in the industry for many, many years, have experienced some fantastic weddings in their time, and have won numerous awards. These are all fantastic suppliers and guest speakers, and they have organized some advice windows for you today. All the sessions will be live. There will be live Q&A, so you will be able to interact with everyone. It's a replacement of an in-person wedding fair or an open day where you can actually meet suppliers. Obviously, we're unable to do that in person just now, but we can do that over the medium of social media and the internet, which is great to have that option as well. All the suppliers have volunteered their time free of charge and sharing their advice and wedding planning tips completely free. So I'm very grateful that they have joined me on this fantastic project. We just wanted to bring a bit of a sunshine to your Sundays in the comfort of your living rooms and also to bring a bit of joy into your wedding planning again. So hopefully you enjoy that as well. Just after the initial introductions, I will be coming on with my 3 mistakes to avoid while wedding planning. This is an expert advice, especially dedicated to busy wedding couples. So if you feel like you're spending a lot of time on wedding planning, hopefully I can save you a little bit of time with my tips today. At 11:30, Mo Ackroyd from Fuse Ceremonies, a humanist celebrant, will be sharing her wedding gestures and particularly focusing on sand, oath and stone, and some other ideas for your wedding ceremony as well. 10 minutes to 12, we've got Scott and Carrie from Camera Shy Photography sharing their presentation of overcoming wedding photography challenges. This will be a very interesting one, and I think there's a lot of questions normally about this session. It's a brand new session altogether. 12:10, Meti from Freya Designer Dressmaking will be sharing with you her tips about the types of fabric and their properties and how that could tie in quite nicely into your wedding dresses, mother of the bride dresses, and bridesmaids dresses as well. 12:30, we will greet Janice Bruce, who will tell you how to wow your guests with your first dance. I think this will be a very interesting one, and she's got a bit of a bonus for you in that session as well, so definitely something to look out for today as well. Tim Maguire, who's a humanist celebrant, will be sharing his presentation at 10:01, and his presentation is called Guy Who Did 1,000 Weddings. This is incredible. Can you believe somebody did 1,000 weddings? And that was in 2016. I'm sure he will share with you how many more he's done since then. It's a very exciting presentation, and Tim brings a bag of experience and advice for couples, so you've got something to look forward to there as well. 1:10, Leanne Gray from Rose Parks will be joining us talking wedding flowers, tricks and flowers in season, budgets, everything else to do with your floral arrangements. The last session was very popular when we held it in April, so something definitely for you to join in as well. Following Leanne, we will have Daria, who is Wedding Artwork by Daria. She runs a beautiful wedding stationery business. She will tell you how to tell your story through invitations and on-the-day stationery, and her session will be at 1:30. There's some really beautiful artwork there for you to consider for your special day as well. At 10:02, Jim Henderson from DJ Edinburgh will be telling you how not to be cautious about your wedding entertainment and be bold with your choices. This is a very, very fun session and a lot of brilliant tips about how to make your entertainment really stand out for your evening reception. Ashley Fulton from Activity Delivered will be coming to us at 2:10, and they are childcare providers. So they will be sharing with you top tips for having little guests at the wedding and how to make a lot more kind of catering to children and what to provide for them to have a fun time as well. Closing the day, we've brought a bit of magic for you. At 2:30, Grant Mitchell will be sharing his tips on keeping your guests entertained with that little bit extra magic. So I hope you guys have a fantastic time with us. I will head over and share my face with you again. Finally, I just wanted to thank our media partners. We have partnered with Tidy Up Scotland magazine, Scottish Wedding, Luxury Scottish Wedding Directory, and also the Mass Scotland Wedding. This particular last final directory has got some fantastic wedding planning tools for you, which I highly recommend you give them a check out as well. As we're going through the sessions, feel free to follow and like all of our suppliers. In addition to the sessions today, they daily or weekly share their best tips on their social media channels as well. So make sure that you give them a little follow and a like as well. And if you're watching on repeat, as all the videos will remain in the group for the foreseeable future. If you're watching on repeat, hashtag repeat in the comments so that we get notified should you have any questions for us. I'm just going to quickly check for any comments in the group. Hello, Leanne from Falkirk. Hello, Leanne. We've got Stacey Thompson, Miss Arms, let's watch. Yeah, fantastic, absolutely. Just for those of you that haven't joined us at the start of the session, because I'm using a third-party streaming software, StreamYard, to present my presentation with you today, make sure that you pop your name before comments or questions so that I can respond to you directly. It's just I don't see your names, I just see a Facebook user here on the screen. We've got Don from Scottish Wedding. Thanks for a shout out for Scottish Wedding. Delighted to be in with you as well. Just a little comment from Don. Fantastic, Don. Thank you very much for joining us today as well. Brilliant. I think that's pretty much everything in terms of what we're doing today. Again, just a quick reminder, if you wanted to enter my competition to win a 1-to-1 1-hour free wedding planning consultation with me, head over to the link on the screen just now, bit.ly/win-consultation. Pop your email there and I will be selecting 3 lucky winners at the end of the sessions about 3 o'clock this afternoon. So I hope you all can join in. If you're watching us, take a wee selfie and pop it on your social media channels. Hashtag for today is, I'll share it on the screen, Oskar GTEWP, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Right, enough about introductions. I'm going to head over to my presentation and start talking about 3 mistakes to avoid while wedding planning. Let me just share the big screen with you just now so we can get organized with the presentation. Lovely. No more questions. Carrie and Scott from Camera Shy. Hi, hello guys. Wonderful to have you with me as well. Let's get started with the presentation. So the order of my presentation today is we'll begin with placing inquiries and how you can manage that a little bit better and how you can save time with it. 2, planning ahead. If you already follow me on social media channels, you will already know that this is my favorite topic. So I'll have a lot of fun sharing some ideas with you there as well. And finally, I will talk about how to ensure you're protected as you're planning for your special day. We will close the session of mine with open Q&A, but feel free if you've got any questions, I'll stop between each of the parts and make sure that I can answer your questions as well. Right, a little bit about myself before we get started. My name is Oskar. I started the Wedding Guru Oskar independent wedding planning and wedding venue consultancy in November 2019. However, before that, I have worked for over a decade with 4- and 5-star luxury venues and hotels throughout Scotland. I was initially responsible for operationally delivering weddings, acting master of ceremonies and providing silver service, so looking after the wedding guests and the couples from the moment of arrival until they headed to their beds, looking after the entire logistical side of wedding on the day. I then moved into wedding planning for luxury wedding venues in Scotland, occasionally actually planning weddings for up to 4 venues at the same time in clusters, and most recently running over 100 weddings a year for 3 city centre properties in Edinburgh. I have assisted couples with supplier liaison, anything from inquiry to the day itself, and also on the day coordination as well. I have had some fantastic time wedding planning over the past 10 years. I have planned over 600 years in my career this far. My expertise has contributed to publications within the Scottish Wedding Directory, the Tide and Knot Scotland magazine, as well as the biggest wedding planning blog, Love My Dress, and also the biggest Jewish wedding blog called Smashing the Glass as well. I really enjoyed putting my words out there and sharing it with wedding planning couples in the past as well. One thing that I'm very proud of is having been recognised and also handled by nominations from couples for my 4 awards from the Scottish Vows Awards and the Scottish Hotel Awards in the past as well. But enough about me, let's get started with the session itself. So my topic number 1 is placing inquiries. And you might think about it, well, actually, placing inquiries is sending an email or submitting an inquiry form on a website with a venue or a wedding supplier. Yeah, well, in a snapshot, it is really that simple. But what actually works in your advantage is two things. And firstly, setting up a wedding email address, and secondly, having the right information available. So starting with the email address, I'm assuming very many of you dislike wasting time and wanting to make your time a lot more effective and spending time on the things that you enjoy doing. So I would highly recommend for you to definitely try out a free service of an email. And if you create an email address that is accessible for both of you, there is obviously cross-referencing of things. And if you've got a wedding-specific email address, that ensures that you're not clogging up your personal inbox and all the communication related to wedding, which is quite a lot when you think about it. There will be quite a few suppliers you will be speaking to, will be landing in the same inbox. It will avoid any confusion, it will avoid lost information, and you will be able to both dip into that response to emails and also have that kind of cross-reference and no confusion aspect of it as well. All the email services these days are completely free of charge. It's a couple of minutes setup to get it started, and that way you ensure before you even get started with inquiries that you get in things into one place and you can have it all organized and nicely tidied up as well. Saves a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of potential disagreements there as well. With having the right information, what I mean about that is I realised that when you firstly get engaged, you're super excited. I got married 2 years ago. I know it was like I wanted to scream to everyone that I was engaged and I was planning my wedding. But actually, what you want to do is make sure that you are coming to people with the right information. So the more time you can spend before you start inquiring with places on planning things, the better. The more information you can provide your venues, your suppliers, the better, because that way you can ensure that they provide you with the most relevant information and a lot more accurate quotes and pricing, anything to do with catering. If you've got any preferences about that, they can come to you with specific menus, and it just saves you an awful lot of time. Because when you think about it, if you provide very little information at the point of inquiry, there might be quite a lot of follow-on emails, conversations, calls, and so on and so forth. And if you're precious about saving time and not wasting your time on having to come back with a million and one answers, then it might be quite useful to get that planning head on before you start approaching suppliers and venues, particularly with flexibility on dates in 2021. Bridebook has just announced that 2021 will actually be the busiest wedding year in history. So if you are flexible on dates, make sure that you notify the venue at the point of inquiry about that, and they can actually come back to you with several options available out there as well. I think that's quite a good kind of tip to go with as well. I'm going to bring my face back to the screen again, check back for any comments, and we've got John from Rose Parks. Hello, guys. How are you doing? Daria as well. Hi, guys. Any questions at this stage, let me know. But if we've got any more questions, I will come back to them through the session. And if we've got no more questions, I'll head over to my topic number 2. We've still got about 10 minutes to go, so we're doing well. And so let's get started. Okay. My topic number 2, planning ahead. And I'm just going to share the screen with you just now. So 2 things about planning ahead. And if, like I said, if you already know me, if you've already followed me on social media channels, read any of my blogs, or any of the articles I have written for media partners before, you will know that I'm a massive fan of taking things one step at a time and planning things in milestones. So one of the things is obviously prioritizing is super important, because realistically there are elements of your wedding you won't be able to finalize until closer to the date. But in order to plan things efficiently in the meantime and save yourself time overall, you will need to ensure to break things down by order of priority. So particularly if you are planning for a destination wedding or a location that you're not too familiar with, you might want to speak to the local suppliers and venues that you are particularly considering for your special day, because they will be your library of information. A lot of venues and a lot of places now will have frequently asked questions. They will have advice pages on their websites and things like that. So it's very important that you obviously speak to them about that. My advice is that you concentrate on booking those essential suppliers first to avoid disappointment. And particularly my huge advice here is that you want to focus on 3 suppliers in particular. That be your photographer, the celebrant or the person, the officiant that will marry you, and your evening entertainment. Ultimately, all these suppliers are a one-man show or a one-man band, and if they've not got availability further down the line, you might be disappointed with that. So you want to ensure that these guys are booked up. Wedding photography ultimately will stay with you for the rest of your lives together as a memory from the special day. At the end of the day, wedding won't happen without a wedding ceremony, so you want to make sure that you get this right. And if you've got a recommendation or build a rapport with a particular officiant that you want to marry on the special day, you want to make sure that you book them in advance. And even reception entertainment is something that everyone most looks forward to, I think, in terms of guests, perceptions, I suppose. But also it's the biggest part of your wedding day, so you want to make sure that you get this right as well. Seeking advice is another advice from me. So obviously there's things like testimonials, there's things like reviews. We've got so many, we're spoiled for choice. We've got directories, we've got websites, we've got Facebook, we've got Google. There's so many places where reviews are published. So particularly if you're planning for a wedding in a location that is unfamiliar to yourself, or suppliers that you've never heard of before, you want to make sure that you check for their reviews. And interestingly enough, a lot of couples are happy to share their reviews after the wedding, and vice versa. Once you got married, it might be something that you will consider doing yourself as well for the benefit of future couples. The other thing is that what I'm seeing with a lot of Facebook groups and things, there's a lot of people having advice or giving advice and having opinions about things. And absolutely, people are entitled to their opinions. But what I would highly recommend for yourselves is actually seeking reliable source of advice rather than just basing somebody's opinion. It's fine to listen to other people's opinions, but always take it with a pinch of salt and think about yourself and your own guests and about the experience you're creating for your special day as well. Like I said, there's a lot of guides available out there. If you were looking for some more advice on that, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to share a few ideas and links with you as well. Okay, before I head over to my next session, just going to check for any comments. Brilliant. We are all good, guys. Honestly, if you've got any questions, any comments at all, pop them in the box below, and I will get back to you through the live sessions. This is our one and only opportunity to do that. If you pop the comments at the end, if I'm unable to answer them during the session, I will come back to them afterwards. Hi, Oscar. Nina. Hi, Nina. I find the email tip great. Thanks. What is your opinion on a wedding website? Do you find it useful? Did the guests use it? Did it take much time? And do you think it's worth overall? I actually had a wedding website for my special day. It just avoided having quite bulky invitations sent out to our guests. And you can include a lot of information about, especially if you've got guests traveling from far and wide, you want to make sure that they've got options for additional things to do, maybe some special attractions in the location, accommodation options, car shares, lift shares, that sort of things. I highly recommend it. I think it's a great feature. A lot of these websites are free of charge, very easy to set up, and it definitely saves you a lot of time and effort answering questions. And you can actually pop frequently asked questions into those websites. If you're getting quite a lot of questions of the same kind from your guests, you can pop them there and refer your guests back to it. It's definitely saving heaps of time, and it's super effective as well. Okay, just checking for any more questions. I think we're good. I've got 2.5 minutes before I need to wrap up, so I'll move on to my next topic. So this is a very interesting one, ensuring you're protected. Recently, there's been a great debate. I'm just going to make sure, we're sharing the screen. There's been a great debate about ensuring you're always protected when planning for the biggest event of your life. Wedding insurance is one of the things, and I appreciate that with COVID, there's been quite a lot of debate about what's covered, what's not. If you've got questions about that, I've actually discovered a brilliant write-up about it. There's a link on the screen for you just now, bit.ly/wed-insurance. That explains the biggest providers of insurances, wedding insurances, and what they cover in terms of COVID. So I hope you find this useful, and I highly recommend for yourselves to check it out. But overall, with wedding insurance, I highly recommend it for all other cases, because it's not only about pandemics, there's so many other elements to a special day that you want to make sure you get this right. The more reputable the provider is, the higher the chances are you will be covered for most of the major items. But make sure that before you sign any agreements, whether that's insurance, wedding venue, or suppliers, that you read the T's and C's throughout and make sure that you understand them fully. If you've got questions, come back to the people you're speaking with and cover those bases. When you think about it, an average wedding in the UK now is between £20,000 to £30,000. And that's a value of a decent car coming straight out of a production line. And funnily enough, we wouldn't put a car on the road without an insurance. And obviously that's a legal requirement, but actually you wouldn't do that. And it's a one day of your life that you're planning the wedding for, and you want to make sure that you're covered for the little things that could go wrong or not particularly to plan. And it is a big expense. You want to be covered as much as possible. Interestingly enough, before the COVID, when I was doing these presentations live, only 2 in 10 couples considered wedding insurance. If I was to ask that question now, I'm sure a lot more couples would be leaning towards taking a wedding insurance. So it's interesting to see how perspective changes dependent on circumstance as well. And finally, payment. Payment is a big one, because obviously with payments at the minute, when a lot of providers are not supplying the wedding insurance, you want to use credit card, because that gives you another level of protection as well. So always use a secure payment method where possible, so that you've got a bit of a backup and help should there be anything that doesn't quite go to plan. Okay, we are last 2 minutes. I'm just going to quickly run through my final stages. So the Wedding Guru Oskar provides services of 1-hour consultations, on-the-day coordination, and full wedding planning. I can be available to yourselves as much and as little as required for your special day. I can do appointments in person at your venue or online like we are today. I always follow up with action plans, and I help you understand the entire process of wedding planning. If you are interested, I'm running 15 minutes free non-commitment consultations on your plans, and we can see if that be something of interest to yourselves as well. I am actually running a massive 25% discount on all services at the minute. So if that be something of interest to yourself, my details are now available on the screen for you to get in touch as well. Okay, this is the wrap up. I'm just going to check for any final questions. I've got 1 minute to go, so let's just make sure that everyone has been answered. Just had a quick glance at the article. It has some incorrect info in it. John Lewis are covering COVID-19 cancellations. I mean, with COVID, it's so uncertain and things are changing daily. I'm not saying that all information out there is available. I just found it interesting that it summarized quite a lot of cover suppliers. Everything needs to be taken with a pinch of salt, and I think a lot of the providers, including the government, are finding things out on day-to-day basis. So I would definitely take a bit of a pinch of salt to it all, but just a nice information to have in one article, all the things covered there, and just a bit of advice as well. All right, that's the end of my time, guys. I hope you had a good time. I hope I was able to share some interesting tips and facts with you. I will now hand over to Mo, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day. Have a great Sunday, everyone, and I'll speak to you soon. And if you've got any more comments, pop them in the comments below, and I'll get back to you after the session. Have a great day, and speak to you soon. Take care, guys. Bye.